Welcome to History Scraps. Today we explore 10 bizarre mysteries from history. Imagine a summer day in 1518, a woman steps into the bustling streets of Strasbourg and begins to dance. Not a joyful celebration, but an uncontrollable, frantic sway that simply would not stop. For days, Frau Trophia danced, unable to rest or eat. Soon, others joined her, drawn into the inexplicable rhythm, their bodies twisting without conscious command. Within a month, over 400 people were caught in this terrifying ballet, their feet raw, their muscles screaming. Exhaustion, heart attacks, and strokes claimed dozens of lives, yet the horrifying spectacle continued. Baffled authorities initially prescribed more dancing, building stages and hiring musicians, believing the afflicted needed to exhaust the hot blood from their bodies. But the music only fueled the madness, turning the city into a macabre carnival. Was it mass hysteria, a rye fungus poisoning, or some forgotten spiritual affliction that gripped Strasbourg? The dancing plague of 1518 remains one of history's most bizarre and chilling medical mysteries, a dance that once led to death. And now, let us move on to our next mystery. Forget everything you know about personal hygiene. In ancient Rome, the most intimate act was a truly communal affair, where privacy was a luxury, and personal cleanliness took a shocking, shared turn. Imagine grand public latrines, bustling with Romans socializing, gossiping, and even conducting business. But for all their architectural splendor, one essential item we take for granted today was conspicuously absent: toilet paper. Their solution? The tersorium. This peculiar tool was a sea sponge, firmly attached to a long wooden stick, and here's the kicker. It was communal waiting for its next shared user. After use, this shared sponge wasn't discarded or even thoroughly sanitized. It was simply rinsed in a flowing channel of water, often mixed with vinegar, running conveniently beneath the marble seats. So the next time you reach for a roll, ponder the Romans. Their ingenious, yet undeniably unsanitary, solution to a universal need reminds us just how profoundly our concepts of personal hygiene and public health have evolved. And now, let us move on to our next mystery. Imagine a courtroom in medieval Europe, not with humans in the dock, but a pig. Or a rat. For centuries, animals were put on formal trial, complete with defense lawyers, witnesses, and astonishingly, the threat of excommunication. From the 13th to the 18th century, these were incredibly serious affairs. Pigs accused of murder, weevils for crop destruction, and even rats for theft faced justice under human law, often with appointed legal counsel arguing their case. The stakes were shockingly high. Guilty verdicts could lead to severe punishments, from banishment and excommunication by the church to public execution, mirroring the fates of human criminals. Historians suggest these bizarre trials stemmed from a blend of religious beliefs, where animals were seen as capable of moral agency, and a desperate communal need to impose order on inexplicable events. So, next time you think of justice, remember a time when even a swarm of caterpillars could face the full might of the law. A truly peculiar chapter that blurs the lines between human and animal, reason and superstition, in the forgotten annals of history. And now, let us move on to our next mystery. Imagine a world where a simple utensil, something you use every day, was once deemed an abomination, an insult to the divine. For centuries, one of the most basic tools on our dinner tables was considered a blasphemous affront to God himself. Our story begins in 1004, when a Byzantine princess arrived in Venice, bringing with her an item of unimaginable luxury and scandal: a golden fork. Used for eating, this seemingly innocent implement would soon ignite a fiery debate. Clergy immediately condemned the fork. They declared it an excessive indulgence, an affront to God who had given humans perfectly good fingers to eat with. To them, refusing to use one's hands was a rejection of divine providence. This condemnation wasn't fleeting. For hundreds of years, the fork remained largely shunned, a symbol of perceived vanity and unholy artifice across much of Europe. Nobles might have experimented, but widespread acceptance was a distant dream. It wasn't until the 1700s, 7 centuries after its scandalous introduction, that the fork finally shed its blasphemous reputation and became a common sight on European dinner tables. A simple tool, once a symbol of defiance, transformed into an everyday necessity, leaving us to wonder what other ordinary objects once held such power to offend. And now, let us move on to our next mystery. Imagine a book, centuries old, filled with intricate drawings and flowing script, yet utterly meaningless to every scholar, codebreaker, and linguist who has ever laid eyes upon it. This isn't fiction. It's the Voynich Manuscript, a real-life enigma defying comprehension for over 600 years. Discovered in 1912 by antique book dealer Wilfrid Voynich, this parchment tome dates back to the early 15th century. Its pages bloom with illustrations of unknown plants, celestial diagrams, and tiny, naked women bathing in what appear to be elaborate plumbing systems. Generations of the world's brightest minds, from World War II codebreakers to modern AI algorithms, have tried to crack its secret. Yet, every attempt to decipher its unique alphabet and syntax has met with absolute failure, leaving them baffled by its bizarre language. Is it an elaborate hoax, a medieval prank designed to fool future generations? Or perhaps it's written in a lost language, a coded message from a forgotten civilization, or even an alien script containing secrets beyond human understanding? The Voynich Manuscript remains one of history's most persistent and tantalizing puzzles, a silent testament to a mystery that refuses to yield its truths. What untold secrets might lie hidden within its undeciphered pages, waiting to be unlocked? And now, let us move on to our next mystery. Imagine a lonely lighthouse, miles from any shore, its beacon a solitary sentinel against the raging sea. But one night in December 1900, on the remote Flannan Isles, 3 men vanished from such a post without a trace. Days later, a relief crew arrived, expecting a warm greeting and a hearty meal. Instead, they found an eerie silence, an unmade bed, and a half-eaten meal on the table, as if time itself had abruptly halted. Only 2 sets of oilskins were gone, yet all 3 men were missing. The final logbook entry spoke of an unprecedented hurricane-force storm, a tempest so fierce it defied all mainland weather records for that day. Was it a monstrous rogue wave, sweeping them into the unforgiving Atlantic? Or perhaps something more sinister, a struggle between the men themselves, or an encounter with an unknown entity lurking in the dark waters? Over a century later, the disappearance of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers remains one of history's most perplexing maritime enigmas. Their fate, swallowed by the waves or something far stranger, is a secret the silent stones still guard. And now, let us move on to our next mystery. Imagine unearthing an artifact from ancient Rome, perfectly crafted, yet utterly baffling. No one knows its true purpose, even after centuries of study. These are the Roman Dodecahedra, hollow objects typically made of bronze or stone, featuring 12 flat pentagonal faces. Each face contains a circular hole, often of varying sizes, and small knobs protrude from the vertices. Over 100 have been discovered across former Roman territories, from England to Hungary, yet what makes them truly mysterious is the complete absence of any written record or description. Not a single Roman text mentions their existence or function. Scholars have proposed everything from surveying tools, dice for an unknown game, candle holders, or even devices for knitting gloves. Yet, none of these theories fully explain their consistent design paired with diverse hole sizes and lack of wear. These enigmatic dodecahedra remain one of Rome's most enduring puzzles, a silent testament to a forgotten purpose. They challenge our understanding, leaving us to wonder, what secrets do these ancient geometric marvels truly hold? And now, let us move on to our next mystery. Imagine waking up to an unimaginable horror, your tooth, suddenly, violently, detonating in your mouth. This wasn't a nightmare. It was a terrifying, unexplained reality that plagued people in the 19th century. From the 1830s to the 1870s, reports emerged from America and Europe of teeth spontaneously exploding. Dr. L.P. Meredith documented several such cases, describing patients in excruciating agony, their teeth shattering into fragments. Doctors of the era were utterly baffled, grasping for explanations. Some theorized about internal gas buildup or bizarre chemical reactions within the tooth itself. Others speculated about diet or even divine retribution for perceived sins. The most accepted, albeit still debated, theory points to dental fillings. Early fillings often used amalgam, a mixture of metals that could react with other substances or saliva, creating a buildup of pressure within the tooth. This tiny, volatile chamber could then, under rare circumstances, violently expand. While modern dentistry has largely eliminated this horrifying possibility, the thought of your own teeth becoming tiny time bombs remains a chilling historical footnote. It's a stark reminder of how little we truly understood about our own bodies just a few centuries ago. And now, let us move on to our next mystery. Imagine attending church, not just for solace, but for the spectacle of a man wielding a whip. For centuries, a bizarre and utterly essential role existed within English churches, keeping order in the most unusual way. Stray dogs were a persistent nuisance, roaming freely, disrupting sermons, and even fighting amongst themselves right in the sacred aisles. This wasn't just an occasional occurrence. It was a widespread, chaotic problem that demanded a solution. The solution? The dog whipper, an official tasked with patrolling the church, a stout stick or a whip in hand. Their duty was simple: locate any unruly canines and unceremoniously usher them out, restoring peace to the service. Some churches even featured small dog doors built into their walls for easy expulsion, a testament to how common this issue truly was. This peculiar office, often a paid position, slowly faded by the 19th century as societal norms shifted. Today, the thought of a dog whipper feels like a forgotten relic from a stranger past. Yet, it's a fascinating reminder of the unexpected challenges and equally unexpected solutions our ancestors devised to maintain order, even within their most sacred spaces. And now, let us move on to our next mystery. Imagine a device crafted not for execution, but for something arguably more insidious: the complete silencing of a human voice. In the dark corners of Scottish history, an iron contraption awaited those deemed too vocal, too defiant, too female. This was the Scold's Bridle, also known as the brank. It was a metal headpiece featuring a terrifying gag plate, often studded with spikes, designed to be inserted into the mouth, pressing down on the tongue to prevent speech. Once secured, any attempt to speak would result in excruciating pain. Its victims were overwhelmingly women, accused of everything from gossiping and scolding to blasphemy or even witchcraft. It was a tool wielded by both community leaders and husbands to enforce rigid societal norms and silence any form of dissent or perceived insubordination. The punishment wasn't just about silence, it was about public humiliation. Women were often paraded through the town square, sometimes even chained to a market cross, their forced silence a spectacle for all to witness. This physical restraint was inseparable from intense psychological torture. For nearly 3 centuries, this barbaric instrument was a grim reality in Scotland, a chilling testament to the lengths society would go to control female voices. Though eventually outlawed, its legacy serves as a haunting reminder of the power of silence and the dangerous history of those who sought to enforce it. Thanks for watching History Scraps. Subscribe for more strange history.